Hey everybody, this is your girl, Ailey Marie. I'm here to do a review on Marriage Boot Camp. We are in episode 4. This lesson today is about needs and wants. And I think, if you watched the previous seasons, you already know that this is a major, in any relationship that you have, family or personal, this is a major thing that needs to be addressed. So basically, we start off in the morning with Brandy in the bed. She is complaining of a huge headache from being thrown on the ground by the German Shepherd from the exercise yesterday. That guy that basically sacrificed his daughter to suffer the consequences. We then go to Matt and Amber in the room. Matt's in his bed as usual, and Amber's like hugging over him like, "Oh, sweetie, you did such a good thing. I'm feeling some type of way." Like, wink, wink. Like, and he's like, "Yeah, I got it. You ain't got to spell it out." So I don't know about those two, but anyway, then we go down to breakfast or down to the kitchen. It's morning time. Renee and Amber kind of get into it. Renee dresses Amber like, what you did last night was pretty fucked up, like saying that information to Brandy. You knew that was going to hurt her feelings, especially coming from her father. Like, we all know what a parent's role is, and you're basically adding to the issues that Brandy and her father have. And then, so she returned the favor to let Amber know that Matt has been discussing Amber's medication, to everybody in the house, which he did. And this is not a lie. We already seen this in the previous episodes. So now that Amber's good mood has now turned to, went left. Okay. So she's pissed off now. She's pissed off at Matt that he's talking about her behind her back to the other people in the house, especially about the medication that she's on. We then go back to Brandy stating that she really can't hear out of her left ear. And being in the medical field, like when you hit your head or anything like that and you have a huge headache and it won't go away or anything that's abnormal, you do need to go to the hospital to make sure you get checked. So Dr. Ish was like, "I definitely don't like this. We're going to send her to the hospital ASAP." And then, we also have Brandy coming downstairs dressed some type of way. Like, "Girl, what are you doing? It is morning time. We are not going to the club." But this is typical attention-seeking behavior. And her dressed up with like this romper that is like, I guess 2 inches below her vagina, and then like these really tall boots. So she was really trying to get a reaction out of her father. But because of the circumstances and the concern of the doctors, they wanted to send her to the hospital to get checked out just to make sure she was okay. Guy is aware of the situation, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just going to sit back. She wants her space." And the doctors are like, "Absolutely not. You're her father. You need to take your behind to the doctor, like to the hospital with her." I don't even understand why this was even a question. Let me be in some type of place. My mom and dad will be there in 2 flat seconds. Like, that's ridiculous. I understand Brandy saying like she didn't want her father to go because he stresses her out more, but if you want the attention that you want from your father, you want the good attention, not the attention that you're trying to get him to give you, which is you showing off, acting out, which is not the attention that you really should be striving for. You should be striving for that loving and caring affection. That I feel like there's a disconnect between those two, because I feel like that's the only way that she can get her father's attention, which unfortunately is sad because that's not the best attention to get. So we then go to the drill. Everybody's at their tables, and so they're doing a puzzle, and they have on the back, they have to write down what they want or need out of the relationship in the family. So Matt is, talking about how he needs to have some control, and obviously in every relationship or family, we do look to the men to have like the control, the steady hand, the good grace. But Matt doesn't really get that. He states he feels that Amber kind of takes that control away from him. And then Amber's like, "Oh no, he's controlling," and all this other stuff. So here we go again. They're fighting. And basically Matt says bullshit. He's calling bullshit on the whole situation. So she got pissed off about that. Then we go to the Grazinado sisters, and Renee says that she wants respect from her sisters. Jen says that she needs peace among her sisters, and Lana says she needs understanding. So I think everybody's on the same page of what needs to be done in the family. Everybody needs to be able to respect everybody's boundaries, not cut everybody off. And that's the worst thing, is when somebody's talking, you will cut them off in a minute. And that irritates the shit out of me. Like, let me finish my thought. You do not know where I'm going to go. And even if you do think you know where I'm going to go, let me get there first. Then we have the Joneses. So basically, Jim wrote down living together, all together. And that's not going to work. First of all, I love my mom to death, but we are two different individuals, and I am like I am my own woman, so I don't need to be living with another woman, especially when she's not my mom. And the fact that Mama Jones is not really too keen on Chrissy to begin with, no, that's not going to work. Not all three of you are going to be living in a house. This Oedipus complex that he has is ridiculous. And like Chrissy says, that's going to have to be a pretty big house. It's got to be at least 3 blocks long. And I agree. Like, that's going to be World War III in that house all day long. Like, nobody would be at peace at all, ever. And then he also states communication, which I think is interesting because he doesn't really communicate that well. But, okay, so we'll see where this goes. We then go to Chrissy saying that she needs understanding. Like, basically put yourself in my shoes between the two of you. Like, it's always 2 against 1. You never have my back on the situation when it comes to your mother and X, Y, and Z. And then we go to, like, kind of... So that's pretty much it for the families, right? Because Brandy and them love, it's only 4 families. So then we go like outside, everybody's kind of like taking a break, and then they state that, you know, they feel that Chrissy moving away was kind of like moving to Florida was the best thing for her and Jim. I feel like, why do I feel like they're not together? But I think they are. And then we go back to, you know, Matt and Amber, they have a lot of issues. I think what basically needs to happen is we just need the truth. Like, Matt just needs to come out and straight up say the truth. When they did mention about the lie detectors, he did get a little, like, skittish. So I am interested to see how much of the truth Amber is saying and how much the truth of what Matt is saying. So it seems like together, all across the board, it is an abusive relationship. I think Amber does put hands on him, and I definitely think he puts hands on her, which is not okay, period, regardless. So then we do Thanksgiving dinner. So they bring all the families into the room. Well, Brandy comes back from the hospital, basically saying that she needs to do an R&R, and she should just rest upstairs and just get her, you know, just chill. So they basically are doing like a new family switcheroo. So we have the new family, which is Renee, Chrissy, and Guy. They're supposed to go outside and get the vegetables for the dinner. We have Mama Jones, Tanya, and Lana. They're bobbing for apples, and they'll be making the pies. And then we have Jen, Jim, and Amber. They're outside getting the main course, the turkeys. So, it was really funny trying to see the ladies bob for apples. No, that wouldn't go. Yeah, no. I'm just gonna have to just pick it up. Jim was hilarious, where he just grabbed the fence and just ran across the way to just like, he's like, look, I got the 3. You guys can just go from there. Then he takes himself out of the exercise, goes back, and is like, I wasn't here for this and all this other stuff. So then we have Dr. Ish like, look, you know, you need to, these ladies need you to hear the voice. You need to, they want you to be that leader of what's going on. So finally, Jim's like, oh, okay. So Chrissy, I like how she's like, oh, Dr. Ish is really starting to grow on you, which I feel like is really good for him, because I don't know about Jim. He's very quiet. He doesn't really do too much talking. He's a thinker. He doesn't really want to be there, but he knows that he needs to be there because, you know, of Chrissy and his mom. So, but what he needs to really start doing really is taking charge as being a man in a relationship for the both of them, because literally he's going to have to start voicing what needs to be done. So then we have Everybody's in the kitchen. They all cooking. The Grazioso sisters take over. Yes, all this food. The food looks delicious. I will have to say, I wouldn't mind going to Renee's house to get some dinner. It looked like it was real good. And like Guy said, Renee took over. She took charge. She was saying like everything like that. Everybody was working cohesively, and that was beautiful to see. We then go to everybody's sitting down at the table. We're eating, have a good time. Brandy comes downstairs and she's shocked to see all the good stuff that's going on. And so she said, the doctor said R&R, so I brought some rosé. Bitch, that's not what he meant. He meant to rest your ass down. Don't rest and drink rosé. Okay? So then we have everybody, like, we start doing like the go around the table situation about why you wouldn't want somebody in their family. And I would have to say Matt got it the worst. He was like, Jim basically said, you're a piece of shit. And ouch. But he took all the criticism. He didn't react. He just took it all in and he was just listening. And, you know, when Amber with Brandy flashing everybody, Mama Jones was like, you know, that was wrong. Like, you shouldn't have done that. You're just doing that to get your dad mad. And he was embarrassed, and I can see why he is very embarrassed about the whole situation. But he also does have to kind of accept her for who she is. I just think she takes it too far. You don't need to be. I would never flash my titties in front of my father. Are you kidding me? He's a freaking pastor. Like, that's not going to go. But I wouldn't even do it in front of my mom, and I wouldn't do it with my boyfriend near me either. That's just embarrassment. It's just out of control. So then Judge Tola comes in. She basically, you know, she does her thing. She looks at everybody from a bird's eye view, and she's like, you need to communicate better, Jim. Like, you state that you want communication, but you can't even give it communication. For the sisters, you can't even let the one person finish their freaking sentence before you want to jump in talking about, well, you didn't do this like 20 years ago. It's like, if you're trying to take any steps forward, you got to stop bringing up the past and let the person talk in the present. And then you have Guy stating that he wants to love his daughter, but and this is all true. All women need to be heard. If we feel like we're not being heard, it is a huge problem with us. Like, if we feel like we're not being understood, it is just like, it just racks us crazy. I will make sure with my boyfriend, and he gets so annoyed with this. Like, did you hear me? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I need you to comprehend exactly what I'm saying. And if I don't feel like he did, I'm going to ask him like 20 minutes later. Now, back to the conversation we had earlier. Do you understand what I'm saying? We just want to make sure that we're heard and understood. And that's the biggest thing with us. And then basically what she said to Amber is like, you got to decentralize yourself from this dude. Like, you got to focus on you. Like, he does not define you. He does not make you, and he does not control your life. You are in control of your destiny. And I feel like Judge Toller is always saying this to Amber about, like, you are in control of your own life, your own destiny. So Brandy and Guy are outside at nighttime, and basically, you know, she tells that, like, her dad, like, I was never an escort. I mean, you put it out there. And he's like, I'll make it right. And she's like, you can't make it right. And you're absolutely right, Brandy. He cannot make this right. You done put it out there. You done told everybody on TV. You done read all this tabloids. You should have had my back and be like, no, my daughter's not an escort. You should believe what I'm telling you to do. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, if you keep showing all this behavior, girl, like, what do you expect him to do? But I do believe Brandy. I do believe that she was never an escort. And I do think Guy was definitely wrong in repeating it and saying it and not having her back on the situation. So let's see what goes on for the next episode. Of course, this is always interesting to see. And I do always love the psychology behind this show, because it is true, valid, and it's very true it's like real life for real. All right, so I'll see you next time for the Marriage Boot Camp review. Any suggestions, let me know. Still trying to work this out. I know I'm a little late, but my schedule, how my work schedule is worked out, I work 6 days in a row. And then when I actually wake up, if I'm not like dead tired, I try to do the reviews. So I want to hear what you guys think about this episode, or what you think about in general about what's going on in the show and how you think it's going to foresee. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, I don't know what Brandy was doing sitting on Jim's lap like that. Girl, you must want an issue with Chrissy. But anyway, so let's talk about it. Leave any comments below. All right. See you next time. Bye.